Hi everyone, this is Hormone from Garden Plant Lover. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to transplant my brassicas and share their growing process that I have been recording. This is January 11th, 2 days after I started my brassica seeds. I have been checking their moisture level every day to make sure that they are well moist. The reason is I don't want them to get dry out because that slows down the germination. Also, I don't want them to be overly watered because that ruins the seeds too and invites the infections. Today I see some sprouts in 2 of the containers. They started to germinate earlier than I was expecting. Also, another reason I'm checking my seed pods every day is that I try to catch them once they started to sprout. So I would put them under the light right away, because from the time they start to sprout, they start to search for light. And if there is no light available at that time, they grow very leggy, and that's the last thing. And growing them leggy is the last thing you would want with your seedlings, because they get infected really fast. So I am going to take this one and this one now and put them under the grow light. Here I set up my grow light. This is gonna be a temporary one until I get my light boxes ready. This is a reading light, and I attached the grow light bulb over there, and I'm going to push it down until like 6-7 inches far. Because if the light comes from far distance, still the seedlings tend to grow leggy, and when the light is given from the close distance, they just grow comfortably. The leggy seedlings is something we try really hard to prevent, because that's a call for infections. And I'm going to turn the light on. Here they are. Once they started to take light, the surface starts to dry out really fast, so I'm going to be checking them again every day, and if they need some water, I will be watering them very lightly from top. It is January 23rd, 2 weeks after I started my brassica seeds. They are growing like crazy, and I had 100% germination with most of them. They started to develop the true leaves. Here you can see 2 true leaves. So when they have 3-4 leaves, I'm going to transplant them. And today I took them out to harden them. Today I'm gonna leave them 1 hour in the shade, and then tomorrow I'm gonna increase it 2, and by the end of the week they should be ready to be transferred to the greenhouse. It is the 3rd day I'm hardening my brassicas. They are tolerating the hardening process really well, and starting tomorrow I'm going to leave them out for 4 hours and start to introduce the sunlight. So like I said before, I started to leave them in the shade 1 hour per day, and this is the 3rd day, so this is they stayed here for 3 hours today. It is January 27th and the 5th day of the hardening process. As you can see, they are growing very well, and they are tolerating the hardening process quite well. Today is rainy and cloudy, so instead of 5 hours, I'm going to leave them all day outside. It's January 28th and 6th day of the hardening process. These brassicas have been outside all day since morning, and right now I took them out to the midday sun, and as you can see, they have been tolerating the hardening process really well, and I don't see any sunburn signs. This is the soil I'm going to use today. I couldn't find the ocean forest from the local farmer store. This soil is not usually my first choice because it is much denser than ocean forest, but I didn't have any other choices and I had to buy it not to fall behind my plants. However, this has mycorrhizae and humic acid in it, additional to ocean forest soil content, so that means that you really don't have to add any other microbial resources to the soil. I made these little holes under these cups so they would drain the extra water. Here I got my soil and I'm going to wet it a little bit. It's pretty dry. And I am going to add kelp meal. This is the brand I'm using. I like its kelp. It's fresher than the other brands I have used. And I'm going to add a handful of kelp meal to this one. Here how much I added, and give it a good stir, mix. Kelp meal helps with building strong roots, so hopefully I will have plants with the good roots. I have here colorful cups. Usually I transplant my plants to the 4 or 5 inch cups, but brassicas are different. They don't need to stay in the cups for very long, because before their stems harden off, they have to go into the ground. Otherwise, they really don't give anything. I'm filling the cups in half. These are the orange burst cauliflowers, and I have seven seedlings right here. As you can see, 4 of them are stronger and 3 of them are weaker here. And I'm going to get rid of this first and then transplant these 4. And I will be transplanting these 4. And then gently take this out. I put my fingers in between them so they would not fall off. I make it upside down and gently loosen the soil. And take these apart from each other right here. Just be very gentle with them, very gentle, because at this point the seedlings do not tolerate the bruising or anything. Just be very gentle with the stems and the roots. And I make a little hole inside it again and put it right here. And fill the cup with the soil. Also, before transplanting, do not water them much, because if the soil is wet, the roots would stick together and it would be very hard to separate them from each other. So I usually try not to water them before I transplant them. If I need to water them, then I do it very lightly so that they would not be overwatered. Also, another thing about the kelp meal is that it prevents the transplanting shock. At this moment, I don't expect them to go through transplanting shock. Here are the seedlings, transplanted brassica seedlings, and now I'm going to water them gently. And after this moment, I'm going to transfer to my unheated greenhouse outside, because they have hardened very well, and now they can stay outside for all day long. So after this moment, I really don't have to keep them inside under the grow lights. And after week or 10 days, I'm going to put them into the ground before they get really big, so that they will form a very good root in the ground. Here it is. This is how I do the transplanting with my brassicas, and I will be doing the same thing with the rest of the brassicas. I have finished with transplanting my brassicas. I don't see any signs of transplanting shock or anything. They look pretty happy. And now I will transfer them to the greenhouse so they will continue growing in the unheated greenhouse until I transplant them to the ground. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video will help you with growing your own brassicas from seeds. If you like this video, please give thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. As these brassicas grow, I will keep recording the next episodes, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye bye. Happy gardening.